Thanks for tuning in to the Nindie Nation podcast, a weekly show dedicated to all things independently developed for the Nintendo Switch. I'm Jeff, and I'm joined by the 75th member of the Smash Bros. Ultimate roster, Josh.
Guess who's entering the game?
Ooh, can you take out PD Piranha?
PD Piranha is going down. Chop block. Bam.
He looks like a pretty cool fighter, I think. But that is not a Nindie. That is the opposite of a Nindie.
That's just the biggest game of the year.
Right, and we focus on Nindies, and we're here to tell you about the games that we've been playing, and boy, do we have a lot this week, as well as the games we think you should be playing, and then we'll go through all of the upcoming games over the next week or so, and talk about the awesome sales that are happening this week, so stay tuned for that in the second half. We've got some great games, including some that are very near and dear to my heart. One about a fine feathered flying friend in particular. Wow, did you check out that alliteration?
That was perfection.
That was really good alliteration.
You're getting good at this right here.
I mean, maybe. All right, so let's talk about what's keeping our Joy-Cons synced. Josh, what are you playing this week?
Okay, well, I'll hit on Full Metal Furies first, and this is a game that you've been interested in for a while. It's been out for Xbox, and it just came to the Nintendo Switch recently. It's from Cellar Door Games, and
who also develops Rogue Legacy.
Yes, that's a big
favorite
thing
of
there,
ours, because
that theme runs in this game in a way. It still has the same type of art style, only it's a beat 'em up. And it's not 2D, it's like any type of beat 'em up, like Castle Crashers or Scott Pilgrim or something like that.
Right, and like 2D playing with depth in it.
Right. And then it has a lot of RPG mechanics to it, so you go through different stages, and once you finish one, you can level up. There's 4 characters that you get, and they're all very unique actually, which is pretty cool. Like Triss, she's a specialist, a melee specialist that does hand-to-hand attacks. There's a sentinel that does a shield attack. Meg is a sniper, and she just sits back and you can shoot people from afar, which is pretty cool. There's an engineer class you can have that's armed with a pistol, but then she gets like these little drones that she can send up. That's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And then there's a fighter that has a large hammer that just knocks people around.
As one would. Yeah. I saw some kind of in the trailer, I saw like a timing element to the combat. Is that for only certain characters, or what is that?
That is like a cooldown. So like if you play something like Diablo where you have the different powers and you use one, it has a cooldown effect. So each one of the characters has like their own special thing they can do. Like if they do a dodge, maybe they only have 2 seconds that they have to wait to cool down with it, or if they, like with the engineer with the drones, probably like a 15 second cooldown to lay another
long cooldown.
Yeah, make her pretty pointless. But regardless, the game is pretty awesome. You can tell it has that Rogue Legacy like vibe to it, where there's a lot of upgrading. Like you continuously feel like you're getting better as you play, which is nice. And you use gold to level up. You can have different loadouts between stages with different items you find and stuff. Blueprints, those come back from like Rogue Legacy. But the combat's all based around beat 'em up. So you just go, like, waves of enemies will come, you beat them up, then you move on to the next level. And there's some cool boss designs that you have to take out. And yeah, it's fun. It's colorful.
And it encourages you, like, is it brutally hard so that you're going back and grinding on older levels or things like that?
Yeah, like if you go back to previous levels, you'll know that you're getting stronger. And if you don't feel like you're strong enough, you can just replay levels again until you feel like you're ready to move on. But there's not much grinding. It's pretty straightforward, actually. It's not as hard as like something like Scott Pilgrim, because that game is brutally hard if you're not leveling up or knowing what you're doing. So it strikes that good balance. I really enjoy it a lot. Glad it's another one of those games that I'm glad came to the Switch. Cough cough. Spelunky.
Okay.
Get over here.
Eventually, right?
Yeah, that's the one I'm looking forward to the most, but who knows? It has to come over at some point. You almost have to think. Next, I've been playing a little bit of Battlezone Gold Edition. This is from Rebellion Games. And I remember mainly playing this in PSVR because it was like one of the big titles for it where you're in a tank and you look around and that's how you control like the tank cannon. The Switch version, it's similar, the art style and everything, only you're using the sticks, of course, to control the guns, and you can change your weapons. The controls are really nice too because you can like strafe in the tank and it controls really well. It's there's not much of a story. Like you can play against others online, and there's like a grid like setup, and there are different sections. So you enter a section, then you battle everything there. Then it goes up to the world map again. Then you move to another section and try to take over that one. And it sort of has like a risk like element to it, which is sort of cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, the gold edition's different from the just main Battlezone game.
Yeah, it sounds like it. It sounds a lot different.
Yeah, because that was just more like mission based. Yeah,
right.
This is a lot more customization, and there's a ton of tanks you can unlock. And I've been having fun. The little time I've been playing it, it's a game that I look forward to going back to.
Huh, that's interesting because so often you see games get like gold edition or some other, naming convention like that, and all it means is we got the DLC as well, right?
Right. That's about it. I don't think Battle the original got any DLC, but this is like they have the VR version, then they have the ones for specific consoles, and yeah, it's been fun. So next I've been playing, and I'm going to hit on this because it's only $1.19, so you don't really get set back if you don't like the game. But it's called Swap This from Two Tribes, and it's a match 3 puzzler. Those are probably my favorite types of puzzlers, by the way. And it has these cute little fish that are trapped in ice cubes, and you match the colors up by touching. It's all touch control. So
when you say you're swapping two, is it like Pokemon Puzzle League or what was the other big one? Planet Puzzle League. I'm mixing up two different games, or like Tetris Attack. Is it like that kind of game where you're swapping just 2 blocks places and trying to make things fall?
Yeah, well, in most match 3 puzzlers, usually you can only swap the adjacent blocks, but in this one you can click anywhere on the screen and then just swap those 2 out wherever you want them. So it makes it a lot easier you have to make blocks of 4, so you have to have 4 of the same color and like any type of shape to make them break, and then you can get combos if you're real fast and breaking them. And it's a cute little diversion. It's a little skimpy on the features and modes as you would expect, but
it's only $1.
Right. It's just something, if you want another type of match 3 puzzler, it's fun in small chunks if you have an itch to play. Like they have like how high score in a minute, and this cute little thing where there's like this giant fish that's trying to eat all the other fish, and you have to try to keep them away by making the combos. And yeah,
I'm watching a trailer now, and it definitely we're getting a good mix of puzzle games on the Switch. Finally, I feel like the Switch was lacking for a long time, and even though that kind of looks like a mobile game, but that's okay, I think, in this style of game.
Right. Yeah, it was originally a mobile game, by the way. But
sure.
Yeah,
but it looks good.
They work for the Switch too. So
yeah.
And finally, the love letter to the Game Boy has arrived. And save me, Mr. Tako from Nicalis. And this is a pretty awesome game because it's totally enhanced to be like a game you play on the original Game Boy.
Yeah, and it looks like it has like different art styles from the different types of Game Boy.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like a Game Boy Color or Advance or whatever they had, like you can change the color palette. So it's like, there's like more than 10 of them, I think. It's really cool. And you can switch it while you're playing too, which is really neat.
Is there any purpose to doing that? Like, does it change? No, it's just
it doesn't
cool
change
looking?
It's just cool looking.
Huh.
Just brings you back. It's sort of like playing Kirby's Adventure or something like that again on the Game Boy. Yeah, you're a squid, of course, and has a pretty heartfelt story of trying to merge the squids with the humans again because they've been in war for a while, and
Aww,
you're the
adorable.
one squid that saved this little girl, and now you're trying to bring both sides together. So
That sounds very cool. And it's single screen challenges, or is it scrolling levels?
It's scrolling levels.
Oh, okay. So it
like
really
I said,
is
with
like
the
Kirby.
Kirby, like they actually you're in a hub world and there's doors that you go into, and that's the level.
Oh,
And you
like
got open.
legit Kirby.
It's legit Kirby. And then there's
Okay.
then it opens you into town areas too, where you
Huh.
talk to other squids and you can buy like some light power ups or whatever. And it's cool. It's recommended if you have nostalgia for Game Boy. It's great. Like it's like a long lost Game Boy title.
Yeah, Nicalis brings the heat. They're a great
They're
great
on top
developer.
of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, I am jealous of your week. That is a good list of games.
Can you top that, Jeff?
I don't think I can top it. Maybe. Depends.
Maybe.
I feel like we should have swapped a couple of games. So this week, the first game I played was The Legend of Evil by Spring Loaded. I bought that
Okay.
last week and got distracted with other things. And it is a 2D tower offense game. But it really,
like
I mean,
that.
it's tower defense. I mean, you are you are like the evil spawn of Satan, but you're just this cute little vampire-looking guy named Bill.
All I think is evil spawn of Satan.
Yeah,
What movie
and-
is that from?
And it's a great game. It's hard, man. It's really hard, but it's got it's got a really good progression system where you're constantly unlocking new units. I had never played a 2D tower defense game before. Every other one that I've ever played, like Final Fantasy Crystal Defenders or Pixel Junk Monsters or Field Runners or any of those, it's like either top down or some kind of isometric view. And so
Yeah.
it doesn't really change too much here, but what I think is neat about it is, and I guess this is kind of the same as Pixel Junk Monsters. You are Bill, and you're running across the plane, and you start on the left side, and that's where your base is, and you got to knock down the other base.
Right.
But as you're running around, there are little, like, you can dig stuff up out of the ground at random, or you have to manually collect the coins or the souls, which are how you build things, as you play through the levels. So it's keeping you busy. You're not just sitting there watching the action play out. You actually have to be running back and forth across the map. The controls are really great. The music's actually really good. It's got an interesting, fun sense of humor. And I was getting frustrated with it because it's so hard. But I finally kicked it back into easy mode, which whenever you pause the game, it asks you if you want to switch to easy mode. So it's kind of built in.
Yeah, it must know that people will probably want to switch.
Yeah, well, and the good thing is, like, each level you can get 4 different medals, and if you're playing on easy mode, you can only get 1. But beating those levels on easy mode progresses you through the story so that you can unlock new units, which you can then go back and use those new units, like your more powerful tanks or your turrets or things like that. All kinds of stuff that you're going to need to progress through the game. So I was playing through like 3 or 4 levels in easy, and then going back to the first one and playing it on normal. And by design, now I'm playing the game twice through, and I think it was like $8.99. I might need a price check on aisle 10 for that one, but it's great. It's really fun. I mean, if you're into tower defense, I don't know how much more is out there on the Switch like this. I know we played Mushroom Wars. These are different games. I think Mushroom Wars is much different aesthetic and top down view. But it's definitely, at least right now, it's the tower defense type of game that I recommend for the Switch.
Cool.
Next up, I played, I don't know why I played it. I played some Machinarium. Is that right?
Machinarium.
This game, when did it come out? Like 2012 or something? It was big on the Vita, I think.
It was a long time ago. It's been out practically for every other console and PC.
It's a point and click adventure game with a really cool steampunk.
It's a cute steampunk style. Like it's lighthearted, but it's not dark or gritty. It has a nice art style.
Yeah, I mean, you're a cute robot that like picks up items out of the world and attaches them to themselves. Like one of the first puzzles is that like a bunch of police robots with big blue cones on their heads are going through a door, and the way you get through a door is to put a construction cone on your head and then dye it blue. You know, like it's cute, it's funny. Good controls on the Switch. Actually, it does something really neat with the point and click on it. You can either tap the area on the screen where you want to, click on something, or you can put your finger on the screen almost like a mobile joystick. Yeah. And so like if you were more comfortable putting your finger on the screen and using it as if it were an analog stick, it works more like a mouse where it accelerates as you move your finger. It's actually a really cool way of controlling it.
I wish more adventure games did that.
Yeah, and it does it without putting a weird, like, it doesn't put anything on the screen. It's very intuitive. I really like the way they did that. And I found myself actually using that more than any other control scheme once I kind of got used to it. But, I traditionally don't like point and click adventure games, so I probably won't go back to it. But I enjoyed some of the time that I was with it. And it seems like, I mean, it won a ton of awards when it originally came out. So,
it's a solid point and click adventure, and that's the thing with the Switch that I love is that you're seeing a lot of these types of titles come back. And I think about getting the control scheme down is the hardest part, because I played some that are not intuitive at all, or like you're describing, it sounds like Machinarium at least is playable and enjoyable.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And I had touched it a little bit. I had messed around with it a little bit on the Vita back in the day. And so whenever we get a game on the Switch that came from the Vita, I always immediately wonder if the graphics will scale well going to the bigger screen at a higher, they might be the same resolution. I don't remember, but
I think the Switch is higher.
Yeah.
From what I noticed, yeah.
But either way, a lot of times, like you look at the original 3DS to the 3DS XL and you see the pixelation difference. Games look better on the smaller 3DS just by default. And so I always wonder if we're going to see the same thing on the Switch, but Machinarium looks great. I mean, I can tell they did some kind of upscaling with the game, so it still looks modern. It still is, vibrant in that dark, drab way. So it was good, and it might, I might actually go back to it. And that is made by Amanita Design.
Amanita.
Staying on the trend of old games. This one is not recently released for the Switch. It came out a couple weeks, I think, after we started the podcast. So it's been out for a while. I decided to play the first SteamWorld Dig for some reason. I think I was talking to someone about SteamWorld Dig 2 and realized that I still hadn't played the first one, and it was $5.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so, I mean, we've talked about SteamWorld Dig 2 a lot. The only thing that I will say is SteamWorld Dig 1, like, I felt right at home jumping in. I knew exactly what to do, and I had no idea that your primary companion in the game was Dorothy from the second one. Like, I didn't have that context going into the sequel.
That's what's really cool about it. It's like it takes from the first one.
Yeah.
Like it, you could play both. You can play the second one without having any context, but it helps having that.
It did. And the story that Image and Form is telling across those two games and SteamWorld Heist is actually really endearing. Those games don't need to have story. They're all about the run and level based goes at the game. They didn't need to have a good story, but they do, and I appreciate it. And the first SteamWorld, it's shorter. It's a lot harder. I died a lot more times in that game than I did in the second one. And but I think, you know what, if somebody hasn't played either of them, I'm probably going to say go with the second one. There's a lot more there. It does cost more, but looks a little bit better and has a few more fun things too. I mean, I ran through I'm at the very end of the game right now, so I'll finish it and put that notch in my belt. But it's great.
They're such unique games, and any of those SteamWorld type of titles are easy recommends, especially from Image and Form. I think they're another one of those developers that you can almost just say, okay, have my money with any game that comes out.
Yep, they announce a game and I'm going to get it.
Yep.
And the last one that I've been playing this week, I can't talk too much about because I think the review embargo isn't up until next week. So I'll dive into it more next week. But The Walking Vegetables Radical Edition by Merge Games comes out next week.
That sounds amazing.
And the reason why I'm going to touch on it right now is because it will release before our next episode records. And it currently has a pre-purchase, I think a 10% discount. So if you're listening, I will say this much. If you are a fan of Zombies Ate My Neighbors, I would say this game is for you.
Who isn't a fan?
And Zombies Ate My Neighbors is one of my favorite 16-bit games. But I'm not necessarily saying one way or another what I think about The Walking Vegetables. But read between the lines, and we'll talk more about it next week.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a good list of games right there.
I mean, we're playing some good games right now, and we've got some awesome games coming out this week and next week. Let's see. You want to run through what just came out this week?
Sure, let's hit on it.
All right.
Out now on the Nintendo Switch. Doo, doo, doo. We have, first of all, we have Transistor. This is a huge one. Wow,
Yeah.
super giant games. And they released, what was that one that they released first?
Bastion.
Bastion.
And
yes.
not Severed, that's Drinkbox. But Bastion, yeah.
Bastion, yeah, is great. And Transistor is a wholly unique take on Bastion and a futuristic but more turn-based. And I didn't play much of it on PS4, but I might try this again. It's something I'll get on sale since I already own it on PS4. But it looks great.
It does indeed. We also have Grim Fandango Remastered by Double Fine launching.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's a good week, man. Good week.
It's sort of a stealth launch. I haven't even heard anything about that.
Yeah, it was. One of, again, coming from someone who's not a fan of point-and-click adventure games, is my opinion correct in that this is one of the best?
Yes, it's a huge cult classic. It didn't sell well when it first came out, but time has been well to it, and yeah, it's hilarious. Like, that's the best part of it is the storyline involved. I played it when it came out back on the Vita and PS4, and if you're not a fan of classic point adventure titles, you probably won't. It won't change your mind. But if you
it does have a hint system in it now.
It does.
The
it's
remaster
still very
does.
obtuse.
Yeah, it is.
Just to let you, even with the hint system, but. Just find a way to watch the story or something, maybe on YouTube or something, if you don't feel like playing it, because it's a great story and hilarious.
It's hilarious. And I think we're getting Full Throttle sometime. I forget if that came out on the PlayStation platforms already or not.
It did.
Oh, it did? Okay, I need to get that one. Again, not a huge point-and-click fan, but the Double Fine original Grim Fandango, Full Throttle, a couple of those games. Oh, I love those games.
Yep. And so next we just hit on Machinarium is out now from Animata Design, and Hidden Folks from Adrian De Jong.
Did you see this? Have you looked at anything about this? I was having trouble kind of figuring out what this is. It looks like a Where's Waldo almost. It's black and white drawings. I'm not going to lie, I couldn't really tell what it was. It was hard to figure out, and they didn't have a video up.
Well, that's one type of game we don't have on the Switch is a Where's Waldo, fine. I take that back. They do have these generic, puzzle games where you have to find what's missing from a picture or whatever.
Yeah, and it's new and it's on sale for 20% off. So it's only $12 if you are in for some kind of find the hidden objects game.
Next we have Nimbala from Neuradio Studios.
Nimbala is also fairly interesting looking. Looks like a side scroll puzzle type game with an art style that includes jumping whales that shoot buttons out of them. Could be cookies. I think they're buttons.
Buttons, cute.
Yeah.
It looks like what was that venture title came out by LucasArts? Remember?
Not
But
Sam
it sort of
and
looks
Max.
like that. But
Okay. The next two are scurry games, so I didn't know anything about them.
yeah, Deathmark from Axis Games, and that's pretty much like an adventure title, has some RPG elements, and it's a dungeon crawler. Knock Knock from Ice Pick Lodge, and not so sure about that.
It looks freaky. Eerie, uncomfortable
Knock, knock.
horror.
Who's
Yeah.
there?
It's a, it looks kind of like a platformer. It's freaky, dude. I don't know about that one. We've also
Not
got, Save Me, Mr. Tako. So that one's out there now.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if Adult Swim games were an independent developer or not, but we had talked about some of their games in the past, and they've got Steven Universe Save the Light. Have you ever watched that show?
No.
I've heard great things about it. If
This
you,
looks sort of cool, though.
listener, have watched Mr. or Steven Universe, let us know. Yeah, it looks like an RPG.
Yeah, turn-based RPG, sort of like South Park, Stick of Truth, or something.
I was thinking
like
the
that.
exact same thing. Yep, that's exactly what it looks like.
Cool. Next, we have Mutant League Football Dynasty Edition.
Did you ever play that game back on like the Genesis?
Isn't like an RPG football simulator sort of thing?
Yeah,
it's fantasy based. Yeah,
that's a pretty good take on it. Yeah, yeah, and it like all takes place in hell, and like your demons and goblins and stuff like that.
Pretty cool. Then we have Gal Metal from Marvelous Exceed, and what can I say? It's your girls playing metal music, and it looks like a beat, like a
Rhythm
follow
game.
the beat. Yeah, rhythm game.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
what I was
rhythm
trying
game.
to get at.
Looks good. I mean, not probably
I
when
like-
I'm going to play on an airplane.
OKKO, Let's Play Heroes this is another one from Adult Swim Games. Interesting.
And I missed one on.
I like their art styles.
They are really cool. This one looks like a fighting game, I think.
Yeah, pretty
like an adventure game
straightforward.
with fighting in it. I missed adding Demon's Crystals by BLG Publishing. Have you seen this game? This looks like a
Twin stick shooter.
Yeah, this game looks cool.
Looks sort of cool though.
And it looks like it's got RPG elements in it. It's got because I see character leveling and experience on it. I might pick this one up. This one looks cool. We're adding this one to the
That's
wish
your
list.
pick of the week right there. Yeah,
It might be, but I've got some big picks for the sales as well.
sure thing. And then finally we have Skyscrapers from Ant Workshop, which you've been playing, but we
I
can't
played
really
that
hit
one.
on yet.
Can
Or
I
maybe
or
we can.
not?
I mean,
I
it's
think I can talk
released
about
now.
that. Yeah, it's out now. Skyscrapers is fun. It's a good 2-player game that is, or up to 4 players. That is similar to Nidhogg turned on its side. So, I think once we get around to getting Extra Life mapped out, that'll be one that we play.
Sounds good. All right, now let's get to what's coming out in the future. On 11/5, we have Moonlighter, 11-bit Studios, finally coming to the Switch. This game's cool because it's from 11-bit Studios, but you control like a shopkeeper, and you actually raid dungeons, but then you go back and you sell the wares that you've acquired to other like adventurers that are going out into dungeons, actual heroes. But in the game, you play a shopkeeper, but he's actually the hero, which is cool.
I remember you being excited for this one when it came out. Have you played it on another platform?
I played it on the PS4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it was good. Yeah, it's a solid dungeon crawling RPG experience. So that's your thing. I recommend it. And then we have Sky Time, from Sometimes You, and it's 10% off right now with a pre-purchase. and it looks like Mirror's Edge.
Yeah, it's got that first person like parkour style game. Looks like some puzzle solving
Yeah,
stuff.
sometimes they bring out some good games to the Switch too. I mean, it's only
Whoa.
269.
They put a lot out. Huh. They
Yeah, they
also
put a
put out
lot of
Energy
games.
Cycle, North, Alterac, a Siggy, a Fart for Melusina. We were
There
excited
you
about that
go.
one for a while. Cool.
Yeah, they have that on 11.6. Now we're getting some big ones here. Rogue Legacy, baby. Yeah, Cellar Door Games, and what we've already hit on this plenty is this is another one of those that you want to see, one of those indie titles you want to see on the Switch finally, and it's here. So
Buy it.
yeah, and then also on that day we have Full Metal Furies, which I hit on from Cellar Door Games. So it looks like that developer has some sort of
Someone right
stake
clicked
into
and
Nintendo
hit
Switch.
export to Switch, I think.
Yeah, it's
Select
not
all,
just on
export to
Xbox.
Switch.
Which they should, because they're going to sell a lot more games on the Switch because it's the indie machine.
Yeah.
So then we have the Shape Shifting Detective, and this is another FMV title. I'll probably hit on this next week because I've actually been playing it.
This
And
looks like something up your alley.
yeah, I don't know what it is. The corniness of FMV titles just gets to me. Like, I love it. This one's really neat, though, because you take control of different people from their perspectives and as a shape-shifting detective, and that's how you try to solve
Oh, that's
murder
cool.
mystery.
That's
Yeah,
neat.
it's different. Yeah. The ones that they released on the Switch before, the Bunker and then Late Shift,
Oh,
they're
they did
both,
light shift? Okay. Or late shift? Okay.
yeah. Um, well, it's not from the same developer, but I also don't think it is. But there are different experiences. Like Late Shift's more like watching a movie than making decisions, and it plays out. While the Bunker was more like exploring, and you click on
They
things and
did
you
do
go around.
late shift.
Okay, so that's sort of cool that they are actually, yeah, Wales Interactive. It's cool that they're bringing all their games over to the Switch because it's a good place for that. Renaissance of FMV, it's back. Night Trap.
Everything
There.
is back on the Switch.
Then we have Minecraft Story Mode Season 2 from
Get
Telltale.
it while you can. You ain't getting any more.
Yeah, that's such a bad situation.
Yeah. So I'm guessing that this is. I mean, is this the release of it, or is this the collection of all of the season 2 episodes? I don't know if this is technically new. It might just be a collection of all of season 2. Get my drift?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't know.
Good question. Then we have Shadow of the Loot Box from Radalaka Games. And this looks sort of cool, actually, because it's a first-person shooter. And it looks retro inspired, but maybe it has some serious Sam-like things, like you're trying just to get, trying to get the loot boxes. And
Yeah, it definitely looks like Serious Sam, where all the bad guys are things like microtransactions and loot boxes. And Radalaika, we've played a lot of their games.
is
I really like
that's such a cool concept.
Yeah, it is.
Like that. Next we have Brawlhalla.
That's by
And it has-
Ubisoft, but I think it's from one of their indie.
Yeah, it's one of
type-
their indie projects,
Yeah.
and it's sort of like Super Smash Brothers, but it looks like it has Rayman in it, so that's sort of cool. You probably have to pay to play as him, but
Yeah, it's a free to play game. I didn't notice that, so I'll pick it up if it's free. Check it out.
sure. Crick 2 game, the Nintendo Switch edition is out also, and this looks like a pretty hardcore puzzler with where you control different elements, try to line them up somehow. Which is
Yeah, it looks like there's a lot going on here. It's only
Yeah.
$4.
yeah, might be worth it. Then we have Daru, the Art of Cooperation, coming out on the 7th. And this looks like another, wow, as it says, cooperation, where actually you're trying to block lines that are different from your color. So you control like a little shape, and then you have to help your partner get through by blocking off certain lines of their different color. So that looks sort of cool.
This next one looks really cool. Asta breed, which sounds like something that you get if you don't wipe enough. It's from Active Gaming Media.
Are you sure it's Asta breed or is it Aced breed?
I don't know.
Aced. Yeah.
What's Aced?
Let us know. Asta breed. Ace breed. Asta breed.
I don't know. Maybe we'll send them this clip. Maybe we'll send Active Gaming Media this clip and ask them.
Yeah. If we get an answer, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks like like you said, 2.5D shmup.
It looks really cool. Like mechs and tons of multi-lock-on attacks, and it looks cool. Yeah. I think this game looks really sweet. I'm putting this one on my wish list too.
And then we have also Battlezone Gold Edition, which we hit on. It's coming out on the 7th as well. Or that's the 8th, my bad. And next, on the 8th, we have Mechanica from Manga Protocol. Looks like a cool point and click adventure.
The art style is really neat. It looks like it looks kind of like a Adult Swim cartoon or something.
Yeah, it definitely does. We have Mercenary Wings from Circle Entertainment.
I am stoked for this one.
Yeah, that looks really cool because I've never heard of this before.
Looks like Final Fantasy Tactics with, a little bit more depth in the job class, like your top-down turn-based strategy. This game looks awesome.
Looks totally classic.
Yeah, I'm really stoked about this
Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah.
It's not that expensive either. $11.69 on sale. That might be worth it. Bugcatcher from Too Awesome Studio, and this has been out before, and it looks like you should continuously shoot up, but you're trying to stop the bugs from coming down on you. So, but it looks cool. I like the art style. Like rack up combos and stuff like that. Rage and Peace comes to the Switch from Toge Productions, and it's 2D platformer, but it looks like a really there's a Super Meat Boy, like you die constantly and you learn from your mistakes sort of thing. Hence Rage and Peace, because you will rage, but you have to find your peace. So very nice. We have Varion from Light Maze based, let me get the developer, Light Maze. Yeah. Yep.
I can't really tell what this is. It looks like, it says it's a brawler, but it looks like a new age Pac-Man, like the levels. So I'm trying
to stay away from certain enemies.
I'm guessing it's some kind of like top-down arena shooter brawler thing.
Yep. Next, we have the Walking Vegetables from Merge Games, which you'll hit on next week.
Indeed.
Been playing a lot of. We have Crashlands.
Ooh. Wait.
From Butterscotch.
Is this the one I have a note on?
Yeah, you said read the description, so you better read the description.
I like the description of this one. So also one that I'm putting on my wish list. It looks like a top-down twin-stick shooter, kind of maybe brawler with... I take that back. It looks like a Diablo clone in some form. Okay, the description is fantastic. Let's see. Play as Flux Daves, a galactic delivery truck driver whose latest shipment gets interrupted by a megalomaniacal alien named Huga Dooku, who tears her ship to pieces looking for useful tech. Crash landed on Whoa-a-Nope. You must fight, tame, craft, quest, boss fight, and adventure your way to domination of all the things so that you and Juicebox, your trusty sidekick slash supervisor slash robotic cargo pallet, can send a message to the Bureau of Shipping and get those packages delivered.
That is a lot to unravel.
It sure is. And I think this game looks great. Has Butterscotch made anything else? No, this looks like their first title on the Switch.
Cool. That's worth checking out.
Yeah.
Like the art style. Next, we have Siberia 1 and 2. They're heading to the Switch from Microids. And these are purely adventure based. They remind me the look of Tomb Raider a little bit. But they're adventure titles, so you don't have the action associated with that. Then next, you have Timber Tennis Versus from Crunching Koalas. I swear, some of these developers just think of the
I think
look
that
at
one
something
wins
and
for
say,
the week.
yeah, they just look at something and say, okay, there's a picture of koala. I'm crunching on something. Let's call us
There you go.
Koalas.
You know what? That's probably how they came up with the name. That is very, very fantastic.
Like half
insight
these
there,
developers
Josh.
do that.
Yeah. They're like, oh crap, we're almost done with our game. We've got to submit it to certification, and we forgot to name our studio. Like Mrs.
Look at
Doubtfire.
that. Yeah. It looks sort of cool though, like a competitive, like Windjammer sort of competitive game. So keep your eye out on that. And then we have Skyforce Anniversary, yeah, from Infinity Dreams.
So I had to research this game because
What's the difference between this and
Reloaded? Yeah,
Reloaded.
because I am obviously in love with Reloaded. So Skyforce started as a mobile game back in like 2006 or 7, and it got ported to PC, it got ported to PS3, it got a couple of upgrades, and it was kind of like a living game where like it would get little updates every time it went to a new platform. And Skyforce Anniversary is kind of the collection of all of those various upgrades over the year in one package. And then Skyforce Reloaded was a new take on it. It looks the exact same. It really seems to me like Skyforce Anniversary is more of like a game of the year, and Skyforce Reloaded is more of a remaster. So does that make sense?
that makes sense. Yeah. So you would recommend going for Anniversary then, or
You know, it's really. It looks to me like Reloaded is the more streamlined and the newer with slightly better graphics. So I'm going to stay with Reloaded for now. That's going to be what I say, but I'll probably pick this up and try it out just to see if it's any different. But I think Reloaded is the one to stay with for now.
yeah. And that's another game that I bought.
Oh, you've been playing it? How do you like
yeah.
it? You like it?
It is. It's pretty cool. I like you said, you feel like you're constantly getting stronger.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I like how you have to earn the medals and stuff to advance. And you actually, it has a good progressive system to it.
There are so many times where you're like, there is no way I will ever get through this level without getting touched. And then it's like, oh, I have 3 extra shields and I have more missiles now, and now I'm going to make it through and get that medal. And you're like, holy crap, I did it.
Yeah, you add a bunch of different weapons you can upgrade and you get faster. And it's cool.
Yeah, I love that game.
Then we have Picture Painting Puzzle 1000 from Success. And it's pretty much like P-Cross.
Yep.
And you have lots of puzzling there with 1,000 puzzles. So
It's got ducks and speech bubbles.
yes, can't go wrong there. And then on the 9th, we have Collide-a-Lot.
I think it's Collide-a-Lot.
Collide-a-Lot. I totally missed that.
Just nail the developer's name.
Yeah, Grunka Munka. That was definitely made up there.
And they describe it as Destruction Derby meets Tony Hawk. Remember this one? We saw it. It was in one of the directs. Do you remember this title?
No, I don't remember it.
It's the one where it's like it's a Destruction Derby, like arena combat, but everybody rides on rails the whole time. It's a top-down game. So you're twin stick shooting, but you are stuck on rails flying around the room. It's got a really cool, like, Mad Max kind of art style, or maybe like Rage. It's got like crazy spray paint colors all over it and stuff. It looks like a good co-op or multiplayer game.
Sweet. Definitely keep my eye on that. Next, we have Townsmen from Handy Games, and it looks like a strategy civilization-like game where you, take care of your town or make it into a kingdom.
Pretty much.
And finally, we have Noir Chronicles City of Crime from Artifex Mundi. And this is another point-and-click adventure type of game from the looks of it. And looks
something
pretty cool.
Also up your alley. You love the point-and-click noir detective games.
Yeah. So that's on the horizon.
I do want to hit, we'll probably hit on it next week, but guys, do not forget, it's a little bit out there, but on November 13th, we have My Riding Stables, Life with Horses.
That is a must buy, right?
I bet you this game's trailer has awesome. I bet you this game's trailer has awesome music. Let's see. Oh my God, this game looks terrible. All right, that's enough of that.
Yeah, you get to brush their hooves off and
of course you
spray
do.
Your horse down.
It's got a screenshot where you've got a radar and there's a horse icon on the radar. You've got a mini map with a horse radar.
That is ahead of its time.
Oh, it's got a mode where you get to hose off your horses. Sold. $30? Are you kidding me?
$30, yeah.
This game looks like it came out for the DS.
That's the funny thing. There was another game that came out earlier that was a mobile title that they just ported. It was the worst type of port you could do, and it was like $40. Like,
devs, stop doing this.
Yeah,
I say that, but like the DS was one of the most popular platforms of all time, and it had all those Imagine Babies games and stuff like that on. So maybe it's a good sign. I don't know.
Yeah, there's people that will buy them. So
apparently.
Whew. Cool. Well, I guess we can get to the sales then.
That was a lot, man. Gotta cool off
every week. They're right. There's just more games coming out every week.
I mean, I think we're at that 20 to 30 a week now, aren't we? Yeah, we totally
I can't imagine there being that they keep doing this, or maybe they have. They will.
We have 25 games coming out next week that are just Nindies. That's not counting the AAA games.
Wow.
Man. All right. Yeah, we have an awesome week of sales. So let's jump on over to those right now. Do I really need to make a song out of you singing again? That's like 2 weeks in a row I think I've done that.
All right. For sale, we have Brawl Out, which is 50% off. And this is a poor man's Super Smash Brothers. It's fun, but the in-game purchases were off the charts. Ridiculous.
So is this game different than Brawlhalla?
Yeah,
they're
it's different.
Both poor. Well, they're both poor man's Smash Brothers. They both are loaded with microtransactions.
This one is more like what a traditional Super Smash Brother game is, though. I think the other one's more a fighting type of game.
Gotcha.
Where you have a health. This one is actually knock the person off by making their health go up.
Gotcha.
So it was okay. It was sort of neat, but I wouldn't.
That's the one that has all the indie game characters, right?
Yeah.
Well, then, I mean, for Extra Life, we should probably play it, right?
We could probably play. I mean, you have enjoyment if you have other people to play with. It's fun.
Do you have it, or do I need to buy a copy of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have it. I can bring it over.
All right.
There you go.
Metacritic score is 60. That's not too bad. We also have one of my favorite Nindies, Owlboy, is 30% off, and that's a great deal. Owlboy is not only one of my favorite Nindies, it's not only one of my favorite games on the Switch, it is one of my favorite cohesive games in like the sub 10-hour time frame from the last decade of gaming. I cannot recommend that game more strongly than that.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It is. It's one of the best. It's going to be on there as the top 10 list of Nindies ever, probably.
For sure.
For now, anyway. I'll hit on Battle Chasers Night War. That's 30% off. So it's $27.99. But this was a neat turn-based RPG. Like it's based off like actual TV show.
I mean, it's like a traditional JRPG, right?
Yeah, but it has a new age like look to it.
Because I remember being really interested in it, but it was $40, I think, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to take a chance on it for that price.
So I mean, for 30% off, it still might be a little too much for most people, but it was I enjoyed it.
We also have Golf Story is 34% off, and I don't know if I've seen that game on sale before, but it is only $9.89 right now, and that was definitely an indie darling over the summer. That game got lots of attention and for good reason.
Yeah, that's another one that's up there. You can get Guns, Gore, and Cannoli.
The first one?
33% off. Yep.
Cool.
That was actually more fun than I thought it would be. Like, it looks sort of generic, but yeah, it has some funny elements to it of being a gangster like in the 1940s and a zombie invasion, and I really enjoyed it.
Also, keep in mind, I don't know if we mentioned it last week, but Inside and Limbo are 30% off. Limbo is $7 and Inside is $14. You play those games, Josh?
Yeah, I love both those games. They're like the ultimate like dark platformy adventure titles that you can play, puzzle adventure games. They're really cool. Highly recommended. Man, this is a deal right here. Oxenfree for 75% off.
Oh yeah, you're an Oxenfree guy?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the story of that.
Is this the one about like the kids that go into like a forest or a quarry or something?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they go into a quarry, then they find it has some Stranger Things like vibes to it. And different realms. But it's sort of slow pace, but I really enjoy my time with it.
And it's mostly an adventure game, right? It's not there. There's not like combat or anything like that, or is there?
No, there isn't. It's more adventure based.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Also, Crypt of the Necrodancer is a whopping 60% off at $8. One to check out if you
that's
are.
A cool one.
And such a unique game. It's not just a rhythm game. It's also a dungeon crawler. It's also a RPG. I mean, it's a very cool game with some awesome music in it.
Yeah. I'll hit on, or was it Sinmora EX is 50% off.
Yeah.
That was a really cool game where it's like a horizontal shooter, but as you get hit, your timer goes down. All you have to do is keep your timer up as you go through different checkpoints to stay alive. It's sort of like Star Fox with anthropomorphic animals. Sort of dark. It's more mature, definitely. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Wizard of Legend is on sale. It's only 20% off. You played that, didn't you?
No, I never played it. I need to, really.
It's a co-op twin stick shooter-ish game. Maybe that would be. I wonder how long that is. Maybe we could just like plow through, because it got really good reviews. Maybe we could just like plow through that during Extra Life.
That'd be sort of cool. Yeah.
It'd be kind of fun to just go all the way through a game.
So many games that we can play. Like,
you liked Video Kid, didn't you?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Video Kid's only $3.50 right now.
Okay. Yeah, it was relatively inexpensive before, I think.
It's like Paperboy, right?
Yeah, it's Paperboy. But it just crams you with retro and nostalgia like influences from the 80s. So that was pretty cool.
Very cool. Well, let us know what you guys are picking. I think for me, man, Owlboy. I mean, if you're going to go get a game on sale this week, Owlboy is very rarely on sale. So that's my pick. And if I have to consider what I am excited to play from the coming soon, I don't know. I think Crashlands looks really cool. I think the Bug Catcher looks really cool. Full Metal Furies for sure, and I know that I love Rogue Legacy. What about you,
Yeah,
Josh?
Rogue Legacy. I would say, well, Transistor that just came out. That's definitely worth checking out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say the Shapeshifting Detective if you want some FMV action. It's definitely I've kept up with it. It's pretty good, and yeah, I can't wait to hear the more about the walking vegetables.
Yes.
Yeah, so
I look forward to sharing more about that next
week.
And if you want to chat with us about what you're playing before next week, you can always reach us on Facebook. We have a community out there, lots of good discussion and back and forth there. That's also where we can post updates to the podcast, the YouTube feed, things like that. So if you're on Facebook, which basically means if you're like 1 in 3 humans in the world, please head out on Facebook, search for Nindie Nation, give us a like and join the group. You can also find us on YouTube, and in about a week or two, let's say 2 weeks, we'll start having some more Let's Plays up there.
There you go.
Look forward to that. You can also find us on Twitter. I'm at Nindie Jeff. Josh is at -the_brand. And we are at Nindie Nation. And we are a podcast hosted through the Nintendo Village. Josh, tell them about that.
Yep. NintendoVillage.com. Go there for all your Nintendo needs. It's a cool site that has a lot of good shows, reviews, previews, and yeah, the people there are making quality content, and we're happy to be part with them. And yeah, go check it out.
Good stuff. We'll have more to share about Extra Life 2018 probably next week. Waiting on a couple of personal life things to sort out before we can pick a date. But I've got some ideas, and so it's time to start making some plans. So while you're reaching out to us on all those social media channels, let us know what games you would like to see through those 24 hours. Maybe we should do some kind of contest or some kind of community thing where if we reach some kind of milestone, we'll play some terrible game like Plague Road or something.
I had Plague Road backed up on my playlist, so hey.
I mean, and for 2 quarters, who wouldn't?
I know, right? There has to be something redeemable here.
Maybe. Well, great. Well, thank you for listening this week. We hope you found some great Nindies to go check out. I'm Jeff. That's Josh. We are Nindie Nation, and we're going to go play some Switch games.
See ya.